Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of the Big Game Theory on the ONLY YAHYAH. Yes, people, this is the show where we break down one of the biggest games for the match week and bring you a bit of post-match analysis, managerial analysis, tactical analysis, and just a briefing of what we think about the game. So on today's Big Game Theory, we're going to be talking about Newcastle versus Liverpool. Talking about Jamie Carragher's comments about if Alexander Isak should be sold. We're going to be breaking down Hugo Ekitike and a youngster, 16-year-old, who scored a beautiful winner at the end. We're talking about Mo Salah, the red card, and just a few other things about the game right here today. So let's jump into it. So it was a beautiful game. You know, this is one of the first games in a long time I've watched that I could actually feel the emotion in the game. There was so many mixed emotions within the game. That's why we saw red cards, goals, late winners, challenges, the intensity of the game, even the comeback was so beautiful to see. And even at the end of the game, the Newcastle fans, you could feel that sigh of emotion where they were like, oh, after the late winner. You know, it was just amazing to see. Not Newcastle lose. I don't really care who won or lose, but I just really was happy to see that this game was just a game full of emotion, and that football is such a beautiful sport. We should just all enjoy it every time we get to watch it because it's such a beautiful sport, man. You know, when you look at how much it meant to Newcastle to win this game just because of a rumor going around that their player is being linked to a club. Okay, it's more than a rumor. It's pretty much him saying, I'm not going to play for you. I want to go to Liverpool. But at the end of the day, it hasn't been finalized. So he's still a player at the club. And to see how much the players played with that emotion in the game, knowing that they wanted to win this game. They need to win this game. And yeah, it was amazing to see that it meant something also to the Newcastle players, to see how they came back after they suffered a very hard, decision on them from Anthony Gordon. Now, I can't really defend this challenge from Gordon. I can't defend this challenge for Anthony Gordon because I saw this happening now. He run to the left wing, then he followed the play, not the left wing, but the right back, I mean. Then he followed the play to the goalkeeper. Then the minute I see the lack of pace on the pass to Van Dijk, and then Van Dijk takes that touch to execute the long ball to Salah, I was like, Gordon's gonna smash him. I was more, scared for Van Dijk getting smashed from Gordon because of his knee. Because, if Virgil van Dijk was to get another injury to that knee, I just don't see him being able to play high-level football again. I don't see where in the will be able to play football, high-level football again, especially after how long it took him to recover after his knee injury. I just don't see how he's going to be able to recover from such an injury again. So I was so scared. I was like, please, nah. Because at the end of the day, Virgil is one of the best centre-backs we have seen. He might make a lot of mistakes and get away with a lot of media coverage not covering his mistakes. But at the end of the day, we can't deny the fact that his impact made a massive change on this football club. And we have to respect that, not only as him being captain, but him coming back from injuries, the sort of journey he had as a footballer. So we need to respect that. We have to. So then, Anthony Gordon, bad challenge, okay. But then we saw Hugo Ekitike scoring another goal. Hugo Ekitike deserves some respect as well, because a lot of people thought that he would have been an average footballer in the Premier League and struggled. But Hugo Ekitike is showing us that once you are placed, a high-quality footballer is placed in a good structure, he can flourish. And that's what's happening right now with a lot of these players playing for Liverpool. Liverpool is not only playing a brand of football that's it's enjoyable to watch, but it's easy for a lot of these young players to integrate. And we have to give we have to give kudos and praises to Anslot for creating an environment that these players can flourish. Because when you look at players like Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott, they look even better than what they looked on the clock. They looked a lot more manageable, managed in terms of their control in the games a bit more, trying to be a bit more involved in the game. So I feel like even that for me, it shows me a lot that Anslot is actually helping Liverpool change the way they see the way they play football. Now, let's talk about talking about changing the way we see and play football. Let's talk about this youth here. Rio Ngumoha. Now, this kid right here is he has a high ceiling. Now, I might sound crazy. He's not the most skillful player. But when it comes to intensity and driving at players at the one-on-one and being effective and driving through the space and taking players on, this kid is not far from being promised. Trust me. And to hear that Liverpool's about to give him sign him on a new contract based on reports from Fabrizio Romano, I'm excited to see what's going to happen for this kid and his future. You know, it is amazing when you see a kid at that age, right, coming through the ranks at a club and creating memories for him and his family from such a young age. You know, every young person in the world should aspire to be great. And maybe you might not be at this level of great, but feel contented in the greatness in which you can bring once you're chasing what you want to do in life. You know, that is, chase your purpose and everything will fall in place for you. Because when these guys get opportunity to chase their purpose, they do. And now they have such great opportunities to become better men. Yo, I need some water, sorry. Now, this guy he is high, as I was saying, top young footballer. I think he will be one of the biggest players for Liverpool in this season at 16. He will be one of the players that come on just like today and score the winner with like 10 to 15 minutes to go. He is going to be that player for Liverpool this season. Him and Chiesa. Remember, I tell you, those players are going to bring such an impact to Liverpool going forward in terms of coming on and changing games and bringing things to games, that you're going to see Liverpool have a very different dynamic. And especially if they get to Alexander Isak, they're going to be a very dangerous football team. Now, talking about Alexander Isak, I'm going to play you a few things from what Jamie Carragher had to say about Alexander Isak. Now, as we know, there's a big talking point over the head of this whole situation of Isak wanting to leave Newcastle. Now, Jamie Carragher has been in this situation, as he will let you know before, and I think he makes a few good points, not only about Isak, right, but he basically sums up the situation very well. Now, I'm not a big fan of Jamie Carragher and his punditry at all, right, but sometimes he says things that I just need to share because I need y'all to know that he's not just that stupid as you think he is all the time. And also, he's an ex-professional, so I always will respect some of his input, but not all his input, because we can agree to disagree on a lot of things. Now, this is what he had to say about the Isak situation, and I think he was a bit. I agree with what he has to say. So you can't disagree with a lot of the points he make. As I say, Jamie Carragher says a lot of crazy things, but yeah, it's true. Like, I think this is going to be a massive issue for Newcastle if he don't leave the club, because I just feel like every press conference knowing the English media, they're gonna run at Eddie Howe on this. They're gonna pressure him every time. Why is Isak not scoring? Imagine if Isak don't score for two games right now. The pressure it puts on Newcastle, Eddie Howe and Isak and the whole club already, that they can't get transfers over the board. Okay, then everybody that they bid for is rejected. Look, they just bid for Larson and they're rejected. £50 million. Wolves say go away with that. We can't find a replacement. You know what I mean? So they are in such a shit position that I don't even know how they're going to solve this issue. But whether or not Alexander Isak goes to Liverpool or not, I just don't think they're favourites for the Premier League. You know, watching them, after watching Liverpool over the last two games, I've realised that they are very volatile defensively. They are there for the taking. There is no way Liverpool can keep going and try to outscore teams, because teams like City, Arsenal, even United, will damage Liverpool. And United actually suit the way Liverpool wants to play in terms of isolation, one-on-one. But I just see Chelsea giving them trouble. I see City giving them trouble. I see Arsenal giving them trouble. And honestly, I might banter Arsenal a lot, but Arsenal and Man City structurally are a lot better than Liverpool this season. And that is crazy because City lost, right, to Tottenham. And even Tottenham, for me, structurally look a lot better than Liverpool. Liverpool look like a team that's just in chaos. Like, hey, we want to outscore you this season. There is no way that's going to work. Arne Slot better not get too comfortable. He came in the first season. He played the Dutch type football with a gel of intensity with German type football. So that was a nice blend to watch. A kind of high tiki-taka kind of vibe towards Liverpool football. A lot of transitional moving and movements. And then you see, so the Dutch type of football with a gel of German. But no, he's getting a bit too comfortable where he's just trying to go after games because he has an alright attack. Liverpool losing Luis Diaz was a massive loss. So him acting like he still has Luis Diaz as a player because he has Hugo Ekitike and Cody Gakpo. Like, these guys are not Luis Diaz. These guys cannot drive the ball and change a game the way Luis Diaz can. So I need him to realize this outscoring teams ain't gonna work. And for me, this is why I feel Liverpool aren't favourites for the leagues anymore. For me, it's City and Arsenal. Structurally, they're a lot better. Those teams do not concede as many clear-cut chances to oppositions as Liverpool are doing against all the opposition so far this season. So yes, people, it's been your boy Yaya coming to you as usual live, bringing you great content going forward. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe the page. Keep hitting the bell for notifications so we can continuously keep bringing you great content going forward. It's been your boy Yaya with the big game theory. Have a good time and ciao.